Emily once believed that life had a clear path set before her. After graduating from college in North Carolina, she was filled with plans and silent dreams. But as the years passed, each plan slowly blurred into the next, and the excitement she once felt began to fade. She moved from one job to another, never finding the meaning she secretly longed for. Some mornings she would sit at a red light and suddenly forget where she was going, as if her body was on autopilot and her heart was somewhere far behind. The world kept spinning around her, friends building families, co-workers moving to better careers, yet Emily felt as though time itself had quietly left her behind. There was no clear goal, no real passion, just a quiet emptiness she learned how to hide behind polite smiles and small talk. Late at night, when the house grew still, Emily would lie awake and ask herself questions she never knew how to answer. What am I really doing? What is all of this for? She scrolled through her memories and realized that somewhere along the way she had stopped listening to her own voice. She spent so much time trying to do what was expected of her that she forgot how to dream her own dreams. Social media made it worse. Everyone seemed to be chasing something meaningful, while she felt like she was just drifting from week to week. It wasn't sadness exactly. It was more like a quiet loss of direction, as if her inner compass had fallen to the ground and she had no idea where to pick it up again. The turning point came one ordinary afternoon. Emily was sitting in a cafe, sipping her coffee, watching people pass by through the window. An older man sat down at the table next to her and pulled out a worn notebook. He opened it with a calm, thoughtful expression and began writing slowly, line by line. Something about the simple way he focused on the present moment caught her attention. Without realizing it, she started to wonder when the last time it was that she did something just because it mattered to herself and not to anyone else. That thought lingered with her, quiet but persistent, like a small light flickering in the dark. That evening, Emily took out an old journal she hadn't opened in years. The pages were filled with short dreams and plans she once believed she would accomplish. Some were small, like visiting a local museum she always loved as a child. Others were larger, like learning to play the piano or writing a book. She ran her fingers over the faded ink and felt a gentle ache in her chest. It wasn't the kind of pain that hurts, but the kind that reminds you that something important still lives inside you, even if you forgot about it. She realized that her sense of direction hadn't disappeared. It had simply been buried under years of routine and unmet expectations. The next morning, she made a quiet promise to herself. Nothing grand or dramatic, just one small thing. Today, I will do something that feels real. Instead of rushing through her day, she brought a notebook with her and wrote down one reflection during lunch. It wasn't profound, just honest. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I want to find it. That simple sentence felt like the first step. Though nothing around her had changed, something inside her began to shift. She suddenly noticed the way the light fell across the office floor, the sound of laughter near the elevator, the softness of the wind in the trees as she walked home. For the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to feel present. As the days passed, Emily continued choosing one small moment each day that brought her back to herself. Sometimes it was listening to her favorite song on the way to work. Other times it was taking a short walk without her phone and letting her thoughts wander freely. And although she still didn't know her exact purpose, she began to understand that a sense of direction isn't always found in grand decisions. Often, it slowly returns in the quiet acceptance that even simple experiences can carry meaning. She realized that the feeling of being lost doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're still searching, still living. One evening, she sat by her bedroom window with a cup of tea and wrote down a few new intentions. Learn something new every month, speak honestly about how I feel, and be gentle with myself during difficult days. These were not plans to impress anyone or prove anything. They were acts of honesty, small anchors to remind her that life doesn't always need to be perfectly mapped out in order to move forward. In that moment, Emily understood that purpose is not always a single destination. Sometimes it's a path you build, slowly, step by step, with patience and courage, and a willingness to begin again. If you have ever felt like Emily, drifting without a clear direction, please remember this. You are not broken, and you are not behind. Life is not a race, and meaning does not always arrive with loud footsteps. Sometimes it arrives quietly, disguised as a small decision, a gentle reflection, or a simple act of honesty. The hope is that one day you will look back and realize that even the moments when you felt lost were guiding you towards something deeper. If this story resonates with your heart, take a deep breath and leave a comment below with one small step you want to take today. Share this story with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe so you can continue this journey together with us.